Hey everyone, how's it going? What is up? It's me, Twister Windstalker, bringing you guys another video. And currently it's 25 here, so we're almost to freezing. And we've been doing this dance for a month, so it's been quite interesting. And I can't wait for March to hit so that we can get back to normal. And, because this cold is just... Especially since I have to go to work in the middle of the night, and yeah, it's like 9 degrees or worse at night, and it's like, man. But the good news is it'll eventually get spring, and we'll eventually get warm weather again. And this that we're having right now is pretty much a fluke because we don't usually have cold weather for over a month. So, because even January isn't usually this bad. The sad part is tomorrow I have to go over to my parents' house where I have to keep my turtles because the landlords won't let us have tanks here. Any kind. You can't have fish, you can't have turtles, anything with water in it, they say And I need to clean the filter. Now, that usually isn't that big of a deal, because I usually just take it outside, garden hose, blah blah, done. But since it's so cold and it isn't looking to warm up anytime soon, I'm going to have to bring in buckets and other containers and wash this inside the building in which the turtles reside, which is my mom's building, as many of you may know, and do a filter change, clean inside that building. I'm not looking forward to doing that because I know it's going to be a pain in the butt. Because normally spraying it out with a garden hose and all that is, easy peasy lemon squeezy, and then you just plug it back up and then boom, you're ready to roll. I got a feeling that it's going to be a little bit more challenging due to the fact that Mom doesn't like a mess in the building, and I know for a fact that filter is going to smell god-awful. I know it's going to be god-awful smelling. It's just going to... ugh. So, that's going to be fun. But I know the turtles need it because the filter, it's time to change the filter. The other thing I'm thinking about, because I want to start it in March, is what I'm going to do for this outdoor pond that I'm definitely starting this year. Because I have this plastic thing that I'm going to use to put the turtles in. I'm going to put some kind of plastic down on the bottom so that the turtles have a little bit of grip. Of course, I'm thinking about putting some sand down on the bottom of it. And I know you have to do the whole thing with the washing the sand, I guess is what it's called. Because you don't want it to be all cloudy and everything when you get it all going and all this. And I'm probably, because of the size of this thing, which I'm going to try to take a picture of this weekend so that you guys can see it. Because of the size of this, I'm probably going to more than likely have to have the fire department come and fill this thing up like they do for swimming pools and give them some money and everything, because it isn't as big as a swimming pool, but this thing is pretty good size, and I'm probably going to be better off instead of just trying to use my parents' well water to fill this thing up, because that's going to take for freaking ever. Now the thing is I got to decide whether I want to get a carport and build me a building with walls and everything and heat, and I like to have a utility sink in it and maybe a hot water heater, and run this entire thing, if possible, off of solar, because that would be awesome if I could just have it run off of solar power. Just have the panels across the roof, because at my parents' house the sun comes across at a weird angle, so that is an interesting thing. Because to get maximum everything out of the solar panels, you kind of have to turned the building kind of weird because it doesn't go like that. It kind of goes like that, where it kind of arcs in a weird degree. And if I could, have batteries and everything, and of course you got to figure out amperage and all that other stuff to make it work, and yada yada yada. I know. And plus the heat. But if I do a building, there's positives. And one of the positives is that I can have it enclosed. I can have the heat regulated where it stays a certain temperature year round. I can build I can build a really good size, area for the turtles to get out of the water, mess around, have a little basking area and all this, and a UVB light where they can just go, sit, chill, whatever, and have 2 different areas. That way they can leave each other alone, because they get grouchy with each other every once in a while. And so having this ginormous plastic thing will give them plenty of area to leave each other alone and not even bother each other, and possibly not even really care that the other one's there. And give them plenty of area to hide and all that. I just would have to figure out filtration. Well, I'm going to have to figure out filtration either way. And I can have a deck, and then I can have a utility sink so I can wash whatever I have to wash. I could install a hot water heater, a small little hot water heater, and tap into that and have it where it trickles into the pond and never have to worry about adding water again, essentially. That sounds good to me. If I choose to go that way, I don't know if I will, because all you got to do is tap into the cold water and just have it kind of run over there and just do a little bit of trickling. But then again, that will, hook into the parents as well, unless I decide to get some kind of external tank to fill and have it run through the hot water and everything, and then have the fire department come ever so often to fill it up. Yeah, I just found another dilemma. So there's that. And I can adjust the temperature and to be inside so no animals or anything can get to them and they'd be safe. And I still can add, stuff so they can be hid. And then I won't have to worry about them, having to go back into the 40-gallon tank, which a lot of people have told me is too small. And the problem with that is, I bought it. The side piece on the left pops out so you can hang whatever you want on that wall. Yeah, I know. And at the time, that was the only tank I could afford, because I couldn't afford a 120, 150, 200-gallon tank that the turtles technically need, because they're big enough to have a 120 to 200-gallon tank easy. So, and that would alleviate this, because I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to figure out what the diameter is. I know this is probably going to be it's going to be bigger than a 120, 150-gallon tank. And you could probably fit quite a few of those tanks inside this thing. So that's a good thing. Now, if I put it outside, I still have the challenge of the filter. I still have the challenge of figuring out how to keep water in this thing, because, my parents wanted to put a waterfall on it if I put it outside. So I have to decide if I want to put some kind of waterfall type thing on it, because it's basically going to be in Mom's garden, so the waterfall would be peaceful, tranquil, whatever. And then I'd have to figure out a wall to keep the animals out on the backside, because I'd have to make a little area for them to, hang out, chill, whatever. Because you'd have to have a little area for them to get out of the water and chill, which they currently really don't have in the tank that they have. And the tank that they have, it's small, and the water is so low that it's a little bit of a challenge to figure out how to put a basking area in there for them. I mean, it probably isn't impossible, and I could probably do some rigging and whatever and get it to work. But, of course, I could get a building like Mom's and basically put the thing in the middle of the room and then have it where they can crawl, and then, have the half the room used as a little area for them to play in. I could technically do that. I still have to figure out filtration. I could have the room regulated. Yeah, I could do that. That would work too. And probably, I don't know. So, the outside, I'd have to have a wall. The sun comes across funny. I don't know if the the water would ever get warm enough to satisfy the turtles, because the turtles like, I think, between 70 and 85 degrees. And I don't know if it gets warm enough outside for that, because, but it might. I don't know. So there's that. And then in the winter, they'd have to come in, because knowing Mom and the wife, they don't want them to be out in the cold. And even though I could put a heater in there and the water wouldn't completely freeze over and the turtles would be fine, I still get that sigh of, I don't know. I think the turtles should just come in and be in their tank during the winter, which is 2 to 4 months maybe max. So yeah, so the outdoors part would be quite a challenge due to the fact of winter and freezing over and all that stuff. So, but if I get them out of Mom's building and get it where they're somewhere else, get a decent filter for them where I probably won't have to change it as much, and if it is in a different building or whatever, then it wouldn't be smelling up Mom's building, it'd be smelling up my building, and I could put, like an exhaust fan or something, where I could blow out the stinky. Of course, if I do that, then they could smell it outside. So, and I know for a fact that the turtle tank's got bad where you could actually smell it through closed doors, so there's a little bit of an issue with that. So, but yeah, that's the things I'm looking into, is to either get a building or a carport, turn it into a building, put the turtle pond in there, build it outside, try to have the entire thing running off of solar, which is what I would love to do, is to put enough into the solar system where I have the batteries, everything, and have it run off of solar power. That way it doesn't add to Mom and Dad's power bill, even though I don't think it adds that much. I mean, technically you have 2 lamps, a UVB lamp and a basking lamp that runs 14 hours a day and keeps gives the turtles a place to dry off and absorb the calcium and everything. And then you have the filter that runs 24 hours a day. And that's basically it. I don't really think it adds, I'd have to do the calculation, but I don't think it adds too terribly much to the power bill. But if I could get it to run off of solar, that would be a bonus. Because, that would be the coolest thing, have a little building with all the batteries in it, have it insulated, have the regulators and everything of the batteries in that building, so it's all there, and have it right next to the building that the turtles is going to be in. That way, short line and then short in. That way I don't lose too much voltage or amperage or whatever it is. And then, depending on the size of the pump and everything, and the lights and everything, I think it's possible to do it. People have ran entire houses off of solar, and of course, they've had to make some adjustments and watch the amperage of the things they use. But I think it's quite possible, and I'm going to try to work on the whole solar power thing for this, because that would be my ultimate goal. If I'm going to do this and I'm going to, put it outside or in a building or whatever, the ultimate goal is to try and figure out how to get it to run off of solar power. Winter time, rain time, I realize is probably going to be the biggest issue. I can see that. And I probably will have to have it where I can either switch it from solar to a generator that has a pretty good sized tank, and or to use mom and dad's power till the sun gets good and everything, and they can, it can go back to using solar power. I haven't quite figured that. Another thing I have to figure out. Yeah. So that should be interesting. Yes? Yes. So yes, this year I'm going to get serious about working on the turtle tank and getting the turtles out, getting them into a pond type thing so they can have plenty of room. Because, I could fit so many of their current tanks into the thing. Because, the 40-gallon tank is small, I agree. And only true way to make it where the turtles would be comfortable, I guess, is to get two 40-gallon tanks. Because, they have plenty of room to swim. And, their shell's covered. And all that. They have plenty of, with two turtles in it, it's tight. But if I had one in one tank and another in another tank, they'd have plenty of room, and I could make a little area in between them where they could bask together and whatever, or have two separates. I don't know. I could probably do that. But you have the mom situation where she doesn't want all that in her building, and she doesn't have room for all that in her building. So if I could get my own building, heck, if I could get my own building, I could get the tank that I really want, put it in there, and skip the whole pond thing. And of course, I like the pond better though, because that'd give you more room than any tank could. This thing's ginormous. This thing, you could probably, with this thing that I'm going to put them in, you could probably put like 10 turtles in it, and they'd all have plenty of room, and have their own little pad, and not even have to worry about each other. They'd just be like, me, whatever. Well, that 10 turtle thing might be a little bit of a stretch, kind of think of it. Yeah, but you get the idea. It's pretty good size, and I'd have to figure out how many gallons this thing is, because I did it one time and I think I did it wrong, and it ended up being like 300, maybe 500 gallons. I don't know if that's right, but so yeah, that's one thing I'm working on this year for sure. And the other things I'm going to work on this year is I'm definitely working on getting some fishing videos to you guys, because I've been promising you that for 2 years. The hunting videos will probably never fly due to the fact that, well, I'll never say never, but the possibility that you won't get them this year. Pandora Crazy 4 will be back up because we're going to start filming episodes about the 20th, I think it is, of this month. So you guys get to enjoy that, and we'll make it more entertaining. And I really got to find out, some things. But yeah, that's going to come back. You guys are going to get more exciting videos from me, especially when it warms up outside, because, man, it's cold. So this year is going to be a great year, And I'm definitely going to have some great content coming your way, and you will get it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave comments down below, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.